Our guest on this segment is an old friend. Well, not old, but a long-term friend. Eileen Bradshaw with the Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma. Good to see you, kiddo.
Thanks for having me.
You got big doings going on, don't you? I mean, we need to point out that we're doing this on what, is this the 26th?
26th.
26th of October. So if you see this in another month, you missed it. It's this weekend, isn't it?
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
It's called Giving Spirits, and it is a fundraiser for the Community Food Bank. It is a whiskey tasting.
Really?
It is. It's
Hello.
a lot of fun. It sounds like a wild party. It's a lot of fun, but it is kind of like a nerd fest for whiskey drinkers. So we have about 80 different types you can sample in teeny tiny cups. And then we have seminars going on to teach you about the art and craft of whiskey making, a lot of history. So it's really kind of a unique event. It's a lot of fun.
Now, when you say the art and craft of making it, that brings to mind the old stills in the country and the sour mash.
Kentucky Woods, exactly.
Right, and Pretty Boy Floyd in those days. But that's not exactly the way it is now, is it?
Well, but they go into some of that, depending on which seminar you go to. You know, you might be comparing types of moonshine. You might be entering the great debate of bourbon versus Scotch. So there's all kinds of different ways to approach the topic of whiskey making. And we are lucky to have some really premier distributors and distillers who come and who are happy to visit with you individually or through the seminars.
Sweet. What gave you the idea to do this?
You know, Tulsa's a really giving community, and we have a wonderful event, kind of our signature event in the spring is called Empty Bowls. It's very mission driven. But we really needed, for revenue purposes, to come up with a second fundraiser, and Empty Bowls draws a very mission-driven crowd. We needed something to draw in the people that kind of wanted to go out and do something more social. We went to one of these in Missouri to check it out, and it was so much fun. And we saw that it was, you know, whiskey tasting kind of scared my board, as you can imagine at the beginning. It sounds kind of like debauchery, but it's not like that at all. And we were able to convince.
So you don't wear togas and eat grapes?
Not, at least not previously, I guess. I'll come back next week and tell you what happens tomorrow night. But no, so far it's been a pretty civilized event. And it was something that wasn't being done in Tulsa, and that's hard to find right now.
The one you went to, did they raise much money?
They didn't do it for charity. It was actually just whiskey tasting, and it was sponsored by a local magazine, actually. So it was for profit. Our ticket prices are higher. For charity, and also because we want to make sure that it's, you know, kind of a grown-up crowd that comes and does that. So it's a little bit different model. This is the only one that we've seen that's for charity, but they're kind of big deals. Whiskey tastings are a huge deal in like New York and Chicago and LA. So ours is just sort of a scaled back Tulsa version. Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's inventive and innovative.
Well, we're trying.
You know, give us an idea when you say it's a little expensive. What kind of ticket prices?
Our regular tasting price, which allows you access to everything in there, is $150. And then the VIP, which allows you to get in an hour early, so you don't have any waiting in line, is $300. So it's quite a bit more than our signature event. It's a smaller event. I think right now we still have a few tickets left, but very few, because it's at the Canes. And I think right now we're at about 350 people who are attending.
So you have about 350 already that have
committed
signed
to.
up.
Yes.
Interesting. What's the maximum crowd you can have?
I think we can probably sell about 50 more tickets.
Isn't that something?
It's exciting for us because this is the 4th year of the event, and you know, it takes a while for things to catch on. So we're excited about it.
I think that's a great idea. While we're here, let's talk a little bit about what's coming. We're right on the cusp of the big holidays.
We are.
You've got to think light years ahead on everything you do. What's the plan, Stan? How are we going into Thanksgiving?
Well, you know, unfortunately, our country has had a very rough fall. If you think about hurricanes, fires, mass shooting, I mean, the general mood has been pretty tough. So we've seen a dip in donations. It's coming back up. So that puts us at a particularly critical time going into the holidays. We always really look to the holidays to help fund food for the whole year, but this year it's going to be particularly critical. We have a Fill the Plate campaign that tells a story of people that utilize our services, and we'll be doing that again. New stories, new faces, but trying to help people understand why food is so necessary and why their help is important.
Well, I got to tell you, the good that you all do is astounding.
Well,
It is astounding.
Thank you.
In fact, I was talking to somebody just the other day about the number of hungry people in just the Tulsa area.
just the Tulsa
If
area.
you start to bring in the other areas, then it starts to get scary. And again, we're taping this on the 26th?
Mm-hmm.
26th of October. Tonight, we're supposed to get a really harsh cold snap.
Hard freeze.
And it'll be cold again tomorrow night. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm told the shelters were filling up 2 days ago.
People are anticipating and trying to get their positions.
Exactly. So there are going to be folks out there struggling to stay alive in the cold weather. They're going to be hungry. And all these people have to be sheltered and fed. These are not good times for a lot of folks.
It is a tough time for very many people. And people who weren't struggling 2 years ago may be struggling now. And some folks are doing better. I mean, it ebbs and it flows. But we are seeing, I was at a board meeting and 2 of our partner programs were explaining that in September, each of them had seen record months of folks needing assistance and record months of new clients. One is in Midtown Tulsa and one is in Owasso. So there's something kind of going on there that I'm not sure, I can't really put my finger on it, but you know, the need isn't ebbing right now. We're seeing an increase and we're not exactly sure how to attribute that.
How's the food supply at the food bank?
Summer, it always gets a little low. One of my partner programs called me and said, okay, do you have any recipes on how to use corn and crackers? Because that's what it looks like you have an abundance of. Luckily, we've got a more diverse product mix right now. Things have picked up again. But in the depths of summer, it does get a little low. Grocery store retail programs help keep that mix more diverse. But our shelves are looking a little better now than they were even a month ago.
If there are folks out there listening, watching what we're talking about right now, and that they want to do something, short of rolling up their sleeves, we can always use their dollars.
You can always use their dollars. An unrestricted dollar, meaning you don't say it needs to be spent on a senior meal or a children's meal. An unrestricted dollar can provide 4 meals at the community food bank. We've just gotten some new stats, and we provide 1 meal every 1.5 seconds. And that, for some reason, you know, I see all those numbers, but that one really grabbed me. Every 1.5 seconds, we're providing a meal to someone. So your investment really is needed to keep that up because we're not even providing enough food at the present time. So a gift of $1 is wonderful, a gift of food is wonderful, and a gift of your time.
Eileen, I read the other day, and then I heard on NPR the battle that's going on between places like Target and Walmart, you know, the big giants of commercialism, you know, the box store groups. How Walmart's leading the charge in food sales. Target is coming along behind them at a pretty good clip. Are they helping?
They do help. And frankly, I think they're kind of unsung heroes because it's more expensive to donate the food to us than it is to throw it away, right? You have to touch it twice, you have to store it, we come pick it up. So I really give big props to the retail grocers. There's hardly a retail grocer in Tulsa or the surrounding communities that doesn't participate in donating food. So it's a huge lift that they do, and I really don't know what we do without them.
Well, you've got, I don't know how you sleep. I truly don't. We've talked about this before. Bless your heart, when I think about what you know as opposed to what you know, it's like you know who needs it and you know how much you've got.
And you know that it's limited.
And there's a limit and there's a cutoff. It's like you know what you know what you know, and there's how do you do it?
It is hard to reconcile the fact that, you know, we're utilizing all the resources we have and marshaling every man hour, and we're still leaving people hungry. I do see it as a public-private partnership. You know, we reach out if somebody doesn't know how to apply for SNAP and they're eligible. We try to help them do that. I mean, we're trying to really bring every resource, both private and public, to bear to solve this issue.
We're out of time. Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much. It's really
you
good to see
coming by,
you.
and
Come
I hope
out tomorrow night.
The spirit moves me. That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.